What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Z4 Games, and as you can see I'm bringing to you guys another DDD deck update, and oh my god, I think this is probably the most expensive DDD deck I have ever made. But it's all worth it. It really ups the consistency, and I do want to give a big shout out to a person here on YouTube called Bad Rad. Don't know if you're watching this, mate, but like, he's given me some spicy techs, and one of them I've actually implemented into deck to really give the deck a good bit of consistency and help unbrick those hands where you don't have every combo piece that you have and that you need, but it can really help search out that missing piece while also putting other pieces elsewhere on the board, like in the graveyard and so forth. And so yeah, I'm really liking how this is playtesting, how this is turning out. The hands I'm getting again are a lot more consistent, a lot more usable, and it does kind of suck because again this is expensive, so this does use some expensive cards in the deck, but they are all worth it in my personal opinion. And if you can either afford to get them outright or trade and sell to make up the money to get them, which I did, to get some of these cards, you'll definitely see a good drastic increase in consistency, and as well as deck construction, because you can like change around cards in the extra deck to help allow these cards to work more fluently, while also giving the deck a lot more, again, options that you can do, and you'll see that once I get to the extra deck. So before I get into it, if you enjoy, give us a like and subscribe down below, ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy a person's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that, and all of that is greatly appreciated, and we thank you guys so much for doing so. So with all that said and done, let's get into this DDD deck update. So if you saw the one that Dale posted here on the channel, a lot of some of the ratios are the same, but some of them again are my own personal text, my own personal options that have either been given to me by myself in playtesting with other decks, or that have been advised and suggested by people like Bad Rad here on YouTube. So there's that for you. But obviously, again, they are expensive, and I will give you budget options that you can use. So I know in previous videos some people have asked, oh, what do I replace for this? Because you're on a budget. I will give some simple but good replacements. So, and I'll also explain some things that I might take out in the future and things I might swap out as well, because there are some things that I'm still thinking about swapping out. So firstly, we have triple Swirl Slime, triple Necro Slime, triple Lamia, triple Kepler. These are all basic, all simple standard. I don't need to go through all of them like piece by piece, because you, as a DD players, you should know why we play these cards. Triple Copernicus, he's basically, you know, basic different Necro Slime, and then triple Ragnarok. These are all the triples that you want to play, because they're all either part of your combos with the first lot, and then Ragnarok is just your best extender in the deck, just because what he can do in both scale and being summoned. He's just so usable. You can drop him down to 2 if that fits your personal preference, but I do like to play 3. And then we have the one Chaos Apocalypse, and the one Ghost to round up the monsters in the deck. Chaos Apocalypse is one of those cards I'm thinking of taking out personally, because the way I'm doing the Satellite Warrior combo is a lot differently. So that's a big hint that why I'm playing in the extra deck. Because again, you do, in terms of like the Synchro combo builds, you do have those choices between either Satellite Warrior or Hot Red Dragon King Calamity. I'm in the in between, where I'm going for Satellite Warrior end board, but I'm doing it the King Calamity way, and you'll see why. I might just, so this video might be a bit long, but I will show you quickly how I perform my personal Satellite Warrior combo that still ends on powerful results, gets a lot of monsters out the way, gets a lot of board presence, disrupts a lot, but takes one less thing out of your extra deck, and takes one less thing out of your main deck. So which again is the Chaos Apocalypse, and I'll quickly show you that at the end. And I'll breeze through the combo, explain why I'm doing it this way in brief. So I don't want this video to be too long, as much as I love DDD and talking about it. Triple Gate, 1 Swamp King, triple Wear Off Thou, and triple Jack in the Hand. I'm playing Jack in the Hand at 3 just because between this and Wear Off Thou, they are literally all one-offs. Like they get you to your combo pieces, because 2 of your combo pieces are level 1s, being the Necro Slime and Lamia, and these just straight up get you to those, which is why I'm maxing these out at 3. Jack in the Hand sometimes bumps between 2 and 3, but at the moment I'm playing 3 of it, and it's just working very well. You just want to get to your combo pieces, so you play these cards to search those cards and get to those cards. So, getting into the money cards now, you're probably thinking this is absolutely bizarre. I'm playing 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity and 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. I finally managed to get my copies of these, and I'm loving them. They are just so good. You're probably questioning Triple Tactics Talents. You see in other DD profiles now at the moment, like it is going around, like people are playing this just because Ash is a big problem for this deck. Ash can be a little bit of a problem for this deck, and those hand traps are just annoying. So being able to just tactics them and then get those 2 draws, if you're going first or if you're going second and you're trying to combo up and they negate, you're like, okay, cool, tactics, steal something else, and then keep going and just clear through their board. So tactics is an amazing card in this deck, just because it just helps the fluency of this deck. That's probably not even a word, but I'm going to make it a word. Pot of Prosperity is probably where everyone's scratching their heads over. And you're probably questioning why. Joe, why are you playing this? You use your extra deck. It's a DD deck. You need the cards in your extra deck. Well, every time I make the extra deck, guaranteed 100% you have 3 spare slots. No matter what build you're playing, you have 3 spare slots. Most of the time, those slots are for your Xyz monsters, which, as versatile and usable they are, and resourceable as they are, you don't need them. You literally just do not need them. We play through our fusions with our synchros and our links. Those are the main combo cards in our extra. So you can guarantee you 3 banished cards that you can remove and dig into your deck for your Pot of Prosperity. Depending even the build, you could probably banish 6. But I'm not that kind of build. I'm still the combo build. I'm still the Satellite Warrior combo. I want to go off on my combo. So I made it so I can guarantee 3 slots in my extra deck can be banished for a Prosperity, and then dig through my deck and get to my combo pieces. It never fails me. I always guarantee to at least see something that I can use off this card, and it doesn't hurt the deck at all. There's no confliction with the deck. As you can see, there is no Allure of Darkness in this deck. There's like 5 slots left in this main deck, and none of them are Allure of Darkness, because with Allure of Darkness, you banish, you draw 2 and you banish. A lot of times you have to banish that combo piece because there's nothing else to banish, or if you're digging for that combo piece to search, you then have to banish it because there's nothing else to banish off that Allure of Darkness draw, which then sucks a lot. So swapping those out for Pot of Prosperity, so for you budget players, just literally put back a Allure of Darkness for this. You guarantee to get something. You're always guaranteed to get something. Whether it's a combo piece or not, you're guaranteed to at least search something. You just have to get rid of those 3 extra spare slots in your extra to resolve this card. The only thing that you can say that it conflicts with is Triple Tactics has, but then that's what you just have to decide when you're playing that game. You have both of them in your hand. You just have to decide, what can I do? What can't I do? What do I need the most? What is more necessary to me right now at this current point in time? A lot of times in testing, I just go for the Prosperity. Unless I have the Kepler, then I'll play Kepler and I'll bait out that hand trap and I'll draw 2 of the Tactics. That's kind of like my mentality when playing with these cards at the moment in this deck. It all depends whether I have Kepler or not. That's like the easiest way for me to explain how to use these cards in this deck. Do you have Kepler or do you not have Kepler? Yes or no? Then that decides what you play if you open both. And then the tech that I got off Bad Dog, Bad Guy, I just literally forgot your name, but I said your name earlier, is Pendulum Rising. I love this card. Like, I don't know why I didn't play this card before. So the text that he was telling me is Pendulum Rising and Wavering Eyes. I like both. Wavering Eyes, I feel like, is more for a Pendulum focused pure deck. It's amazing in that deck. And it literally makes one of the old support cards that we've got for DDD from a rubbish card to a really good card. DD Arc. It works very well with Pendulum Rising, with Wavering Eyes. But Pendulum Rising is amazing in this deck because it gets you to Kepler. It's another way to get to Kepler while resolving Kepler, and you don't waste a summon, because the things that you're going to turn from a non-pendulum into that Kepler with this card are Necroslime and Lamia. 100%, because those are the only other non-pendulum level ones that we're playing in this deck. So being able to turn one of those two combo pieces into a Kepler to then search the gate to get to another combo piece just really helps fix that consistency. I'm only playing 2 because when I was testing at 3, it bricked a lot. You don't want to see multiples of this card. But it really does help the consistency a lot. This is a card that I highly advise all of you guys to play, test out and see how it goes for you. Personally, I'm really enjoying it. I really do like Pendulum Rising. And I can't believe I wasn't trying this card out before. I completely forgot that this card even existed. So, again, big shout out to him who advised on this card. Really, really good card. And the last of the deck is the 3 1-0s. There's 1 for 1, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Call by Grave. I put Foolish Burial back into the deck just because it's a very good versatile card. It's not necessarily as a combo piece. I don't class Foolish Burial as a combo piece. I class this as like a turn 2 extender or that kind of thing. Just to dump a Swirl Slime into the graveyard, or a Lamia or a Necro Slime or something like that. Just dump that thing to the graveyard so that way you can get a further extension further on. If Call by Grave came back to like 2 or something, I would definitely just play 2 Call by Graves. Like, Call by Grave is amazing. And if I wasn't in the UK, I would definitely, instead of playing Foolish Burial, I'd be playing Zero King Rage. So that's why, to any of you American overseas players out there questioning why I don't play Zero King Rage, I'm not allowed. Konami says no, because I'm in Europe, and Europe ain't allowed to have nice things. But yeah, if I were to play Zero King Rage, if he was an option, I'd definitely take Foolish Burial out for him, because he is amazing, and I wish I could play him. Moving on to the extra deck, we have double Genghis and 1 High Flame King Genghis, pretty standard there on the fusions. Former Synchro, Gus King Alexander, Crystal Ring, Siegfried, Crystal Ring, and Savage Dragon, along with the Satellite Warrior for the boss monster. Pretty self-standard there. 1 High Wave King Caesar. I kind of swap between him and Kali Yuga, so that's a thing that you guys can decide for yourselves, what you rather prefer. I prefer Caesar over Kali Yuga. I do side the Kali Yuga for his back row matchups, but the reason I always choose him over is because if I have that hand that literally just consists of a Swirl Slime and Necro Slime, I can at least get a double solemn negation in the forms of High Wave King Caesar. Obviously it does take both your Genghises, but at least it gets you something of a disruption. And here's the 2 spicy texts I'm playing in the deck, and that is Assembled Nightingale Lyrilisk and the 1 AA Zeus. We have a 1 card combo that gets you to a Zeus, which is just Kepler. Like, it's good. I was playing the Kali Yuga actually over the Assembled Nightingale, as my reasoning and idea in theory is that Kali Yuga makes the safest Zeus in the game. Because so long as the summon of Kali Yuga resolves, your opponent can't play anything else to that turn. So you can swing in with the Kali Yuga as well as everything else. And then after that, turn that Kali Yuga into a Zeus. And then pass turn to your opponent. And then you have not only anything else that you have for disruption, like maybe it's a Siegfried or a Savage or Crystal Ring, whatever. So you have that disruption. But you also have the Sky Thunder as well to just completely clear the board once you've used that other negation. So that was my reasoning before, to make like the safest Zeus in the game. I'm going to call it that. But I'm taking in the Nightingale at the moment just to see how it goes, just because, again, it's a 1-card combo into a Zeus that we can play in this deck in just the forms of Kepler. So Kepler is always a Zeus, worst case not. Obviously, you have to be able to attack first, but Nightingale can always attack directly, chip in some damage, and then get the Sky Thunder on board. So that's something I'm taking in at the moment. But one of these two can be a Kali Yuga, which I think is really good. And then lastly, for the extra deck, is the Link monsters of Gilgamesh, Halifabrax, and Quashie. Gilgamesh is something I'm thinking of taking out, just because you'll see in the combo that I'll quickly show at the end how I'm doing the Satellite Warrior combo. You don't need to use the Gilgamesh, so he's another flex spot that I can banish off the Pot of Prosperity. I do keep him in at the moment, just because turn 2, you can at least just play pure DD thanks to Gilgamesh access, because he will set up his scales, and then you can just start comboing up and just start swarming the board and just punch directly. So that's it for the main deck and extra deck. I'll just quickly zoom out and show you guys how I play the Satellite Warrior combo. It's just ever so slightly different, but it just frees up so much space and options that you can use for your own deck. So it's still the same standard combo pieces. And so your normal Kepler, grab Gate, play Gate, grab Lamia. Pretty self-explanatory there. Fusion into Genghis. You banish, special Lamia, special Necro Slime, and then synchro these into Gust King, and then you link these into Sheep. I'll move all of this down here. Then you Necro Slime, away your Genghis for your High Flame. This triggers Alexander. Summon out Lamia. The reason why I like doing it this way as well, which I think, because this is how you do the King Calamity combo. This is how you do the layout for that. The reason I like about this, because at this point, this choke point, this is the point where your opponent should Nibiru you. Like, they shouldn't Nibiru you earlier, because we've gone way past 5 summons. But this is the hardest point to choke with a Nibiru against a DD player. So they should do it here, because you fear them with the Crystal Ring here. And the cool thing is about doing it this way is that you do go into Crystal Ring. Because if you do the standard Satellite Warrior combo here, you'd be going into a Siegfried here, more case than not, after time. But now doing it this way, you will go into Crystal Ring guaranteed. So that way, if they didn't Nibiru you earlier, before you make this, they can't Nibiru you now, which is good. This triggers Sheep, get back Lamia, and then that triggers High Flame to get back Alexander. Then you synchro, then you link these off into a Crystron. Crystron summons out a... It can be anything, to be honest, because you will just... you can just Lamia from graveyard, but I tend to go into a second Lamia. And then I will sync these off into the Savage, who gets me the Sheep. So if you did play the King Calamity, and I do see some builds playing both Satellite Warrior and King Calamity for those options, you can still make the end result for the King Calamity. You will just summon Ghost, then you Lamia out the contract, and then you make the Savage, and then he's your dragon target. But the reason I do this, the reason why I choose to do it this way, and it's like not too big of a reason, it's just that I can just negate. I have a monster negate and an omni negate, which in fairness is better than like a spell and trap negate and an omni negate, because monsters are more prevalent to be negated. But then I can just tag that out, get the formula, get the draw, and then I can sync these off into Satellite, and then just pop pop free. You still get 3 pops. So you still get a monster negate, an omni negate, and 3 monster pops. And you still have a high Flimking Genghis in play. And you still have a gate in play. Which then means that you can get a free summon off the Genghis as long as you summon something else, which you will do because you have a Lamia engraved. So you can then tag out the gate to get the Lamia back, and then you can make a Siegfried. But then gate can search anything else, which is really, really strong. Because then I can go gate to search out Ragnarok, then I can discard the Ragnarok for the Lamia, then that triggers Genghis to get back Ragnarok, and Ragnarok gets back Gust King, and then you can turn those into a Siegfried. So you just get so much more options out of this. It takes less out of your extra because you're not using the Gilgamesh. You save your Siegfried for later on. So you still have all of this in your extra. You have 6 slots in your extra deck to still play around with. And you don't have to then necessarily main deck a Chaos Apocalypse. You can then, if you're playing overseas, this can also be a second Zero King Rage. So you could play 2 Rages if you wanted to. And Rage gets you a extra easier form of an OTK. Like, you just get so much more value out the deck. Like, heck, if I was playing overseas, I could go gate, search Rage, ditch Rage for Lamia, and then Genghis gets back the Rage, and I can use Rage to sack off Lamia, and then turn something else off. Then I can swing, and then Rage swing for game. Like, you just get so much value out of playing the combo this way, in my personal opinion. But I don't see myself going back. The only thing I could probably see myself doing is just swapping this out for a King Calamities, but like, and then just try and play around the whole point that King Calamity can miss timing, just like play better. But I feel like this is the safest way to do the Satellite Warrior combo. Personally, you do not need to overextend, set up to make a Savage on your opponent's turn. Like, no, you don't need to do any of that. You really don't need to do anything. If your opponent can play around and Monster Negate and Omnigate and 3 pops and still play, that extra negate is not going to do anything. It's not. Like, they're just clearly got the better hand than you. Like, there's just no way around it. Like, this should be enough, and personally testing this has been enough, and it just feels so much better. It just feels so much safer. So now I just need to find something to take out the Chaos Apocalypse for, which is one. But yes, guys, that's the deck profile and combo, everything explained. I do hope you enjoyed it. I'm so thoroughly enjoying playing this deck constantly, and just try and re-innovate it and change how it works and just make it better. This and Galaxy Eyes are the 2 decks that I really have no problem splurging my money into, because I just love these decks so much. I see so much potential in both of those decks and both these decks, and so being able to buy things like Pot of Prosperity and Triple Tactic Talents and see good results with these cards just makes it all that much better, and just makes it so much better. But guys, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, as always, happy dueling.